Hi there. Emma never imagined that an ordinary greeting on social media would one day turn her whole life upside down. It all started with an innocent message from a stranger, and just a few weeks later, she found herself standing on the threshold of someone else's apartment, her heart racing, with just one question in her mind. Who was really on the other side of the screen? But before you get comfortable, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments which city you're watching from and what time it is there. I'm really curious to see who's joined us. Now settle in and get comfortable. We're starting. Emma was the kind of woman who drew glances, though she never sought attention. She had long golden hair that tumbled in soft waves down her back, and her athletic figure moved with easy confidence. Today, she wore a simple, pale sundress that hugged her curves just enough to hint at the toned lines beneath. The delicate lace of her blush-pink bra and matching panties felt like a secret, one she carried beneath the fabric, a detail only for herself. Her husband, Ben, was kind, attentive in his way, but sometimes life felt like a series of repeated days. Their home was filled with laughter, quiet dinners, and the hum of routine. Emma loved Ben, but lately she found herself scrolling through her phone more often, eyes searching for something she could not name. One evening, as sunlight faded through the window, a new message appeared on her social media. The sender's name was Alex, a stranger. His profile picture just a glimpse of dark eyes and a teasing smile. At first, Emma hesitated, but curiosity got the better of her, and she opened the chat. "Hi, I hope you do not mind my message. I just thought your smile was beautiful," Alex wrote. A flush rose to Emma's cheeks. She typed a careful response, something polite, but Alex was charming without crossing boundaries. Their conversation drifted from favorite books to travel dreams, sprinkled with gentle jokes that made her laugh out loud. Days passed, and the messages continued. Each one felt like a small spark in her day. Sometimes, their words tiptoed to the edge of flirtation. You have the kind of beauty that would make any artist's hands ache to capture you, Alex wrote one night. Emma smiled at the screen, surprised at how her heart skipped. She glanced down at herself, at the way the soft cotton of her dress slipped off one shoulder, the curve of her waist outlined by the fabric. Did he imagine her like this? Their chats began to grow longer. Alex was attentive, always knowing just what to say. Emma felt seen in a way that was new and exhilarating. She found herself thinking about him during the day, picturing the warmth of his gaze even though she had never heard his voice. One evening, Alex's words grew bolder, still delicate, but with a thrilling edge. "I wonder what color you're wearing tonight. I imagine soft pink against your skin." Emma's breath caught. She typed back, "You have a good imagination." His reply came quickly, "I think I am right." She giggled quietly, tracing a finger over her thigh, aware of the gentle fabric of her panties. "Maybe," she answered. That night, as Ben slept beside her, Emma stared at the ceiling. Was this a betrayal? Or just a harmless secret? One that made her feel alive? Her heart beat faster at the thought of Alex, a stranger whose words made her body feel lighter, more sensitive to touch. The next morning, Emma caught herself smiling at her reflection as she slipped on a new set of pale blue lingerie. She wore her hair loose, letting the soft waves fall over her shoulders, her skin glowing. She could not remember the last time she had felt so noticed, even if it was only through a screen. At work, she found herself checking her messages, waiting for Alex's name to appear. And it always did, as if he sensed when she needed a spark. Their exchanges grew more playful, more intimate, but always stopped just short of crossing a line she could not yet define. Still, Emma knew something had changed. The thrill of each message lingered in her chest, and she wondered just how far this would go. For the first time in a long time, she felt a delicious sense of anticipation. A secret just for her. One that made the world feel wide open. But as the days slipped by, Alex's messages began to take on a different tone. "I would love to see you," he wrote one afternoon, "just to have coffee. No expectations. I feel like I already know you." Emma stared at the words, her heart pounding. She typed, deleted, typed again. "Maybe. I'm curious too." As she pressed send, Emma realized she had stepped into something new, something real, with consequences she could not yet imagine. A thrill ran through her as she began to plan what she might wear, what secrets she would keep, and what she might finally allow herself to discover. Emma's mind was awash with questions and anticipation as the day of her meeting with Alex approached. She felt both daring and cautious, alive in a way she had not felt for years. That morning, she chose her outfit carefully. She slipped into a pair of fitted high-waisted jeans that accentuated the roundness of her hips and hugged her athletic legs. Her blouse was white, semi-transparent, just enough to reveal the outline of her powder blue bra beneath. She glanced at herself in the mirror, running her hands over her waist, and smiled at the reflection. Her long, wavy blonde hair fell freely over her shoulders, and her lips glistened with a soft shade of rose. Her lingerie was chosen with care, smooth and silky, a pastel blue bra with delicate lace trim that cupped her breasts softly, lifting them into a gentle, natural curve. The matching panties were thin and snug, accentuating the graceful shape of her body and the gentle swell of her hips and bottom. She wore a light floral scent and a small silver necklace that rested at the hollow of her neck. Ben, as usual, was busy in the kitchen, unaware of her restless excitement. Emma left the house with a whispered goodbye and a heart pounding with the unknown. The cafe where they agreed to meet was tucked away, intimate but lively. As Emma entered, she searched the tables, her pulse fluttering. She spotted Alex almost immediately. He was standing by the window, tall and confident, with light brown hair styled in an effortless wave. His broad shoulders filled out a fitted navy shirt, and his eyes, deep brown and inviting, locked with hers as he smiled. For a moment, Emma hesitated at the door. She saw herself through his eyes, her slender form, her soft curves, the way the jeans embraced her figure, the shimmer of her hair catching the morning sun. She took a breath and walked over, nerves melting away as Alex rose to greet her. "You're even more beautiful in person," he said, voice smooth, with a warm undertone that made Emma's skin tingle. He reached out to gently brush her hand with his. They sat, coffee ordered, and the first moments passed in laughter, shy smiles, and playful glances. Conversation flowed easily. They spoke about music, travel, and their secret dreams. Alex listened attentively, his gaze never wavering, making Emma feel as if she was the only woman in the world. When his hand finally reached for hers across the small table, she let herself respond. Their fingers intertwined, a current running through her. Alex's thumb traced soft circles on her wrist, each touch sending delicate shivers up her arm. The cafe around them blurred into a gentle haze. Emma found herself leaning closer, her lips parted slightly, the tension growing deliciously between them. Alex lowered his voice, his words touching her ear. "You are stunning," he whispered. "I've been imagining this moment since we first started talking." They paid for their coffee and stepped outside, walking side by side, close enough for their shoulders to brush. The city was alive, but for them, the world had narrowed to the warmth between two bodies. Alex suggested a walk through a nearby park. Emma agreed, and as they wandered, they found a quiet corner under the trees, hidden from view. He turned to her, his hands resting on her waist, pulling her gently closer. Emma felt the anticipation build as Alex leaned in. His lips brushed hers, tentative at first, then deeper, his kiss slow and searching. She responded, feeling the press of his body, the strength in his arms. His fingers slid along the small of her back, tracing the waistband of her jeans. And Emma shivered as he pressed her closer. She could feel the heat rising between them, her body alive with longing. Alex's hand moved up, tangling gently in her hair as he kissed her again, this time with more urgency. Their bodies pressed together, their hearts racing in perfect time. The encounter was electric, a blend of curiosity and boldness. Emma let herself be guided by sensation, her breath quickening as Alex's hands moved with respectful care, learning her shape. She was aware of every inch of her skin, of the soft friction of lace against her breasts, the cool air brushing the exposed nape of her neck. After a long, breathless moment, Alex pulled back, his eyes searching hers for any sign of doubt. But Emma smiled, her cheeks flushed, her body tingling with excitement and a touch of guilt. She felt alive, reckless, and entirely herself. They parted with a lingering touch, a promise of more. Emma walked away, her thoughts spinning. She felt a strange blend of elation and apprehension. This was more than a game now. It was real, thrilling, and dangerous. That evening, as Emma undressed at home, she gazed at herself in the mirror, the memory of Alex's hands and lips replaying in her mind. Her fingers traced the lines of her body, still tingling from his touch. The secret was hers alone, a flame that glowed bright beneath her calm exterior. The next message from Alex arrived late that night. "I cannot stop thinking about you," it read. Emma smiled, typing back, "Me too." But beneath the happiness, a strange tension began to grow. A hint of mystery in Alex's words, something he was holding back. He hinted at a secret he could not share just yet, and that knowledge made Emma ache with curiosity. Who exactly was this man who could make her feel so much? She lay awake, her heart racing, knowing that she had taken the first real step into something wild and unknown. Emma woke the next morning with a renewed sense of daring, her body humming with the afterglow of what had happened. Yet, as the day wore on, That glow shifted to nervous energy. She replayed her encounter with Alex in her mind, savoring every touch, every heated glance. But now there was a thread of anxiety running through her thoughts. At work, Emma's colleagues noticed her distracted smiles and distant gaze. A close friend, Melissa, a tall brunette with piercing green eyes and a playful laugh, caught her alone in the break room. "Emma, what's going on with you?" Melissa teased, arching an eyebrow. "You look like you have a secret." Emma brushed her hair behind her ear, feeling a blush rise. "Maybe I do," she answered, but her voice was softer than usual. Melissa grinned, but the moment was interrupted by Emma's phone buzzing with a new message. She glanced down, her heart leaping at Alex's name. "Let's meet again. Tonight. My place?" Emma hesitated. There was an urgency to his invitation, a confidence that made her both nervous and excited. She typed her reply slowly. "Okay, send me the address." That evening, she dressed with trembling hands. She chose a simple, flowing black skirt that ended above her knees, paired with a fitted crimson blouse that set off her golden hair. Her lingerie was black this time, a balconette bra with intricate lace, lifting her breasts into a soft, inviting curve, and matching panties that hugged her hips and accentuated the fullness of her bottom. She finished with subtle makeup and a hint of vanilla perfume. Alex's apartment was on the edge of the city, in a modern building with tall windows. He opened the door before she could even knock, his eyes dark and intense as they took her in. "You're even more beautiful tonight," he whispered, stepping aside to let her in. Inside, the apartment was filled with warm light and the faint scent of sandalwood. Emma's nerves faded as Alex took her coat and led her into the living room, where soft music played in the background. They sat close on the couch, laughter and conversation quickly giving way to silence thick with anticipation. Alex leaned in, his lips grazing Emma's jaw. His hands moved over her shoulders, sliding slowly down her arms, sending tingles along her skin. He kissed her deeply, his hands gentle but sure, exploring her body with careful reverence. Emma responded, her own hands running over the strong lines of his chest and arms, feeling his muscles tense beneath her touch. His fingers slid beneath the hem of her blouse, caressing her waist, tracing the delicate edge of her bra. Emma arched into him, surrendering to the sensation, to the feeling of being desired so completely. They moved together in a rhythm that felt natural, inevitable, clothes slowly slipping away, revealing skin and secrets, the air around them thick with shared longing. Emma's breath quickened as Alex's lips traced a path along her collarbone, his hands moving over her hips, her thighs, learning her every curve. She let out a quiet gasp as his fingers found the clasp of her bra, freeing her breasts. He paused, eyes meeting hers, asking for silent permission before lowering his mouth to her skin. The world seemed to fade until there was nothing but touch and breath and the heady rush of connection, a delicate balance of pleasure and tenderness. Afterwards, they lay entangled on the couch, Emma's head on Alex's shoulder, his hand tracing slow circles on her back. She felt sated, happy. But as they talked, The conversation took a strange turn. Alex spoke of places she had never mentioned, details about her life that she could not remember sharing. He knew about her favorite cafe near her office, the name of her childhood pet, even the pattern of stars she liked to watch from her bedroom window as a girl. Emma's brow furrowed. "Did I tell you all of that?" she asked quietly. Alex smiled, but there was something unreadable in his eyes. "Maybe you did. Or maybe I just pay attention." Emma tried to laugh it off, but unease prickled at her. She recalled something Melissa had said earlier about the risks of sharing too much online, about how easy it was for strangers to become too familiar. The next morning, Emma scrolled back through her messages with Alex, searching for clues. She found herself looking at his old photos, reading his words, with a new sense of suspicion. How could he know so much? Why did it feel like he had been watching her even before they met? That day at work, she was quiet, distant. Melissa noticed. "Hey, you okay?" "Oh." Emma hesitated, then nodded. "Just tired. Didn't sleep well." But inside, anxiety was building. The excitement of her secret affair was now tangled with fear. Was Alex really who he claimed to be? That evening, Emma's phone buzzed again. It was a message from Alex, but this time it was different. "Let's talk. I have something to tell you." Her pulse raced as she read the message over and over. Was this the moment everything changed? She replied simply, "Where?" Alex sent the address of a quiet park on the edge of town. Emma dressed simply, jeans, a light sweater, pale pink lace bra beneath, hair tied back. She left the house with a knot in her stomach, barely noticing Ben's gentle goodnight. The park was empty, the evening air cool. Alex stood waiting, hands in his pockets, watching her approach with a solemn expression. "Emma," he began, his voice low. "There's something about me you don't know." Before he could continue, they were interrupted by a sudden movement, a shadow darting behind the trees. Emma turned, startled, but saw nothing. Alex shook his head, eyes troubled. "Let's walk." They moved in silence, tension growing with every step. Emma's mind raced with possibilities, her heart pounding with equal parts fear and longing. Whatever happened next, she knew, would change everything. The night air was cool as Emma and Alex wandered deeper into the park, their steps muffled by soft grass. Tension hung between them, words unsaid, secrets trembling at the edge of revelation. Emma tried to steady her breath, but her mind was swirling with questions. Who was Alex really? And what could he possibly have to confess? They found a quiet bench beneath a willow tree. Alex sat first, elbows on his knees, head bowed. Emma lowered herself beside him, her slender frame shivering not just from the cold, but from anticipation. "I never wanted to scare you," Alex said at last, voice rough. Sometimes I get too close, too fast. You make me want to be honest. But I do have secrets, Emma." Emma swallowed. Her heart hammered in her chest. She looked down at her hands, nails painted pale pink, fingers delicate against her blue jeans, and found her voice. "You know so much about me. Things I never told you. I need to know who you are. Please, Alex." He hesitated, eyes shadowed. It's not easy. A distant dog barked. Somewhere, a car door slammed. Emma glanced over her shoulder, feeling suddenly exposed in the darkness. She pulled her sweater tighter around her body, feeling the soft lace of her pale bra beneath. For a moment, she remembered how Alex had traced her collarbone the night before, his touch gentle and searching. Before Alex could answer, the sound of footsteps approached. A young woman appeared, a stranger, tall and slender, with long black hair pulled into a tight ponytail. Her jeans hugged her narrow hips, and she wore a crisp white blouse tucked neatly into the waistband. She carried herself with confident grace. "Sorry," the woman said, offering a polite smile. "I thought I saw someone I knew." Alex stiffened, eyes narrowing. "We're just talking," he replied, voice guarded. The woman lingered, glancing between them. "My name's Sarah. I walk here sometimes at night. Just being careful. Too many weird things in this town lately." Emma nodded, forcing a smile. "Thank you. We'll be careful." Sarah hesitated a moment longer before walking on, her silhouette disappearing among the trees. Emma looked back at Alex, who seemed shaken. "Is she someone you know?" she asked. Alex shook his head. "No, but I think she's right. We should be careful." A long silence fell between them. Emma searched his face for answers. "Please, Alex, I need to know the truth. Why do I feel like you're hiding something from me?" He closed his eyes, taking a slow breath. "Sometimes I look people up before I talk to them. Social media makes it easy. I saw your photos, your posts, even old comments. I just wanted to know who you were before I reached out." Emma stared at him, torn between relief and confusion. "So you're not some stalker? You just researched me?" Alex looked up, his brown eyes raw and honest. "Maybe I took it too far, but it was only because I felt something for you, even before we met. I know it sounds strange." Emma let the words sink in. Part of her wanted to recoil, but another part understood. She'd shared so much of her life online, sometimes forgetting how public it all was. They sat in silence. In the distance, streetlights cast golden pools of light. The park felt vast and empty. Alex reached for her hand, his touch warm and reassuring. "Emma, I promise, I never meant to frighten you. I just couldn't help myself. You're incredible." Emma's breath caught as he drew her closer. Their lips met in a soft, searching kiss, his hands gentle as they explored her face, her neck, the delicate line of her jaw. He trailed kisses along her cheek, his fingers slipping beneath the edge of her sweater, finding the lace of her bra. Emma gasped, her body responding instinctively, pressing closer to him as the night air wrapped around them. Alex's hands moved with reverence, tracing her curves through the fabric, his lips finding the hollow of her throat. Emma surrendered to the moment, to the feeling of being wanted, of being known. She forgot, for a moment, all her doubts, lost in the thrill of connection, in the heat that blossomed between them beneath the sheltering willow. When they finally parted, Emma leaned against his shoulder, her heart pounding. "This is crazy," she whispered, smiling in spite of herself. Alex chuckled softly. Maybe, but I think it's real. As they walked back to the street, Emma's phone buzzed with a new message. She glanced down, confused. It was from an unfamiliar number. Be careful who you trust. Her stomach twisted. She glanced at Alex, but he was watching the road, unaware. Was someone following her? Was it just a coincidence? The thought sent a chill up her spine. That night, Emma lay awake in bed, listening to Ben's steady breathing beside her. She stared at the ceiling, replaying everything. Sarah's sudden appearance, Alex's confession, the mysterious message. The secrets she carried now felt heavier than ever. The next day, she confided in Melissa during lunch at work. Melissa listened, her green eyes wide with concern. That's not normal, Em. Someone's playing games with you, she said, her voice low. Do you think it's Alex? Emma shook her head. I want to trust him, but I don't know. Melissa reached across the table, squeezing Emma's hand. Promise me you'll be careful. And let me know if anything else strange happens, okay? Emma nodded, grateful for her friend's support. That evening, Emma checked her messages obsessively, looking for another warning or sign. But the mysterious sender was silent. She wanted answers, but all she found was more uncertainty. Alex called her that night. His voice was gentle, sincere. Emma, I need to see you again. There are things I still need to say. Emma hesitated. The line between desire and danger had never felt thinner. She agreed to meet him one last time, hoping she would finally learn the truth. Emma's thoughts churned as she drove through quiet, lamplit streets toward her meeting with Alex. She replayed every detail of the past few days in her mind. The thrill, the mystery, the warning message, and Alex's confessions. A storm of longing and apprehension built inside her. The two emotions crashing and tumbling until she hardly knew which was stronger. She parked near the address Alex had sent her. A small, secluded house tucked behind rows of whispering trees. Her phone buzzed again, just as she was getting out of the car. Melissa. Are you okay? Text me if you need anything. Emma smiled faintly at her friend's concern, grateful for the support, but determined to see this through alone. Alex greeted her at the door, his eyes shadowed by worry. He wore dark jeans and a soft grey sweater that set off the warmth of his tan skin. His hair was tousled, as if he'd run his hands through it 1,000 times that day. He welcomed her inside with a gentle touch to her arm. Inside, the living room was quiet, lamplight spilling golden across the floor. Alex motioned for Emma to sit. He paced, then finally spoke. Emma, I have to tell you everything tonight. I can't keep secrets anymore. Emma nodded, anxiety tightening her chest. She wore a flowing midnight blue dress, cinched at the waist, with delicate straps that left her shoulders bare. Underneath, a lilac lace bra supported her round, soft breasts, matching panties fitting snugly around the curves of her hips. She caught Alex's gaze linger, then returned to her eyes, as if he was seeing her fully for the first time. Alex took a deep breath. I fell for you before we ever met in person. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. I spent hours looking at your photos, reading your words. When I finally messaged you, I already felt like I knew you. I crossed the line, maybe a few. But when I saw you that first day, everything felt real. And I knew I had to be honest, or I'd lose you. Emma's heart twisted. She felt exposed, vulnerable. You should have told me sooner. He nodded, voice raw. I know. I'm sorry. But there's more. Someone has been messaging me too. Someone who knows about us. Someone who wants to ruin what we have. Before Emma could respond, the doorbell rang. Alex froze, fear flickering in his eyes. He opened the door to reveal Ben, Emma's husband, standing on the porch. Ben's presence hit Emma like a wave. Tall, broad-shouldered, with strong hand and sharp blue eyes, clouded with confusion and anger. He looked from Alex to Emma, jaw clenched. Emma, Ben said quietly, we need to talk. Now. Alex stepped back, giving them space but refusing to leave. Emma stood, hands trembling. Ben, I... Ben shook his head, voice strained but steady. Don't. I know you've been hiding something. You've been distant, distracted. I tried to pretend nothing was wrong, but I'm not blind. Tears prickled in Emma's eyes. She reached for words and found none. She felt Ben's pain, but also her own defiance. Her desire for freedom, for passion, for something she had not even known she needed until Alex. Alex watched the exchange, jaw set, eyes on Emma. If you want me to go, I'll go, he said softly. A heavy silence filled the room. Ben broke it first, turning to Alex. Did you seduce my wife? Was this your plan, Tidson? Alex met Ben's gaze without flinching. No, I didn't plan this. I care about her, maybe too much. Emma stepped between them, her voice trembling but clear. Stop. This isn't about who is to blame. This is about me. I made choices. I wanted to feel alive. The room felt charged, the air thick with things unsaid. Alex stepped forward, taking Emma's hands in his. I don't want to lose you, Emma. His touch was gentle, his eyes searching hers. She felt herself melt into him, the storm of conflict giving way to a surge of desire. Ben watched, torn between anger and heartbreak, but unable to turn away. Alex pressed his lips softly to Emma's forehead, then her cheek, and finally, her mouth. Emma closed her eyes, surrendering to the warmth of his embrace, the tenderness in his hands. Alex's fingers traced the line of her shoulders, slipping the straps of her dress down, exposing her bare skin to the soft lamplight. Emma shivered, not from cold but from longing. She could feel Ben's gaze on her, the weight of his emotions. But all she could think of was Alex, his touch, his breath, the safe strength of his arms. Her dress slid to her waist as Alex's lips moved to her neck, kissing the soft hollow just above her collarbone. His hands caressed the gentle swell of her breasts, cupped in the lilac lace of her bra, and she gasped, her body aching with need. Alex paused, looking to Emma for consent. She nodded, eyes bright, cheeks flushed. Ben took a step back, pain etched across his face, but he did not speak. He simply watched, torn apart by love and loss. Alex and Emma moved together, their bodies finding a rhythm both urgent and gentle, a dance of yearning and discovery. Every touch was a question, every kiss an answer, every sigh and moan a confession. In that moment, the world fell away. Afterward, Emma dressed in silence, heart pounding, mind reeling. She looked at Ben, tears shimmering in her eyes. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Ben shook his head. "I just want you to be happy, Emma. I hope you find what you're looking for." He turned and left, the door closing softly behind him. The sound echoed in the quiet house. Alex reached for Emma, drawing her into a gentle embrace. "Are you okay?" he asked. She nodded, unable to find words. She felt grief and relief, guilt and freedom all tangled together. Later, as she sat alone by the window, Emma realized the cost of honesty. She had broken something precious, but she had also claimed something for herself. A piece of desire, of courage, of truth she could never give back. The night pressed in, thick with unresolved feelings. But Emma knew the final answers still waited ahead. Emma barely slept that night. The events replayed endlessly in her mind. Ben's devastated face, Alex's raw honesty, and the whirlwind of emotion that left her exhausted and restless. As the dawn crept in, she sat on the edge of her bed, hugging her knees, the city outside stirring to life. It all felt both strangely distant and painfully real. Later that morning, Emma received a message from an unknown number, the same one that had warned her before. "Meet me at the Riverside Diner. Come alone." Her heart raced. She texted Melissa, letting her know where she was going. "Just in case," she wrote, trying to sound casual. The diner was quiet, its red vinyl booths half empty, sunlight glinting off polished chrome. Emma spotted the sender immediately. Sarah, the tall, dark-haired woman from the park. She sat near the window, sipping black coffee, watching Emma approach with unreadable eyes. Emma slid into the booth. "You're the one who's been messaging me?" Sarah nodded. "I needed to warn you, not about Alex, but about someone else." Emma's pulse quickened. "Who?" Sarah leaned in. "There's someone who's been watching you both, not Alex. Someone who's been manipulating your accounts, sending you messages, even tracking your movements." Emma stared at her, bewildered. "Why?" Sarah's expression softened. "You're not the only woman. My sister. Something similar happened to her last year. She thought she was just having a flirtation online, but someone was using her information, stirring up trouble, trying to ruin her relationship. I saw you in the park and recognized the signs. I thought maybe I could help." Emma's breath caught. Pieces of the puzzle clicked into place. The odd messages, Alex's knowledge, the sense of being watched. "Do you know who it is?" Sarah hesitated. "I have a suspicion. Someone from your work. Maybe even someone close to Melissa. That's how they got so much personal information. They had access to your private messages." Emma sat back, stunned. "Melissa? Not her, but maybe someone around her. My advice? Be careful who you trust. And talk to Alex. He's been getting messages too. They exchanged numbers, and Emma promised to update her if she learned anything new. As she left the diner, she felt strangely lighter. There was fear, yes, but also relief. She was not crazy. There really was a hidden hand behind it all. Emma drove to Alex's place, her resolve strengthening. He opened the door, worry creasing his brow. "You're okay?" She nodded. "We need to talk." There's more to this than we realized. They sat together, piecing together what they knew. Alex showed her messages from the same unknown number, each trying to turn them against each other with veiled threats and twisted truths. Emma told him about Sarah and her warning. Together, they contacted Melissa, who helped them trace the messages back to an office intern. Someone who had admired Emma from afar and feeling rejected, decided to sow chaos out of jealousy. The police were involved, and the intern was quietly dismissed. The truth, at last, was out. But the ordeal left Emma changed. She realized how fragile trust could be, how easily it could be shaken, and how deeply it mattered. She met Ben one final time, in the gentle warmth of a Sunday afternoon. Ben was different, calmer, sadder, but dignified. "Emma, I loved you. Maybe I still do. But I want you to be happy. I'll find my own peace." Emma nodded, swallowing tears. "Thank you, Ben, for everything." They parted with a quiet embrace. No bitterness, just gratitude for what had been. That night, Emma found herself at Alex's apartment. The world felt new, raw, and uncertain, but she felt herself stronger for all she had survived. Alex stood by the window, his hair catching the last rays of evening sun, his gaze soft. Emma slipped off her coat, revealing a cream-colored dress that hugged her curves. The outline of a pale blue lace bra visible beneath the fabric, her long legs bare. She stepped to Alex, her arms circling his waist. He turned, pulling her close, their bodies fitting together with gentle familiarity. Emma pressed her lips to his, slow and deliberate, feeling his heartbeat quicken. Their embrace was sweet, slow and healing. Alex's hands traced the curve of her back, the swell of her hips as they undressed one another, savoring every moment. Emma felt cherished, safe and desired, her body finally at ease. Their lovemaking was unhurried, full of whispered confessions and quiet laughter. Every touch a promise of something more. They lay tangled together afterwards, Emma's head on Alex's chest, the city's lights flickering in the distance. "I don't know what comes next," Emma murmured. Alex smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her cheek. "Whatever it is, we'll face it together." Emma let herself relax, the last of her anxiety melting away. She had no map for the future. But for the first time in a long time, she felt free. Free to choose. Free to feel. Free to hope. She thought of all she had learned. About risk. About love. About herself. Life was unpredictable. Full of danger and desire. Mystery and second chances. But above all, it was hers to live. The next morning, Emma stepped out into the sunshine, her heart light, her eyes bright. She felt the possibilities stretched before her, simple, open, and endlessly her own.